Good evening and welcome. My name is Dave Lawrence. I'm President and CEO of the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County, and it's my honor to welcome you to the grand finale of this season's Culture and Cocktails. It's been a great season. I wish we could have done it together in person, but I'm sure that you'll enjoy tonight's performance just as much from the comfort of your own home. This has been quite a year, and there's so much going on, and we're not quite done yet. I invite you to attend the 2021 biennial exhibition that's going on now at the Cultural Council. The show is curated by Aldeide Delgado. It features the work of 30 of Palm Beach County's finest artists, 13 of which are exhibiting at the Cultural Council for the very first time. The show includes painting, sculpture, photography, and installation work. It is a wonderfully eclectic, beautiful, and thought-provoking exhibit. You can see the show and vote for your favorite work as part of our People's Choice Award. The winner will receive a cash prize that we'll award at the end of the exhibition. I'd just like to give an extra special congratulations to all of the exhibiting artists in that show. Additionally, we have a wonderful show in our solo gallery called The Language of Shapes by Anne Friedlander. I want to make sure I give a very special thanks to the Board of Directors of the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County. This is a wonderful group of talented and passionate community leaders. And I'd like to announce our newly appointed board chair, Darren Kirchfeld. I want to thank her for her continued leadership and support. I'd also like to make a special welcome to our two newest board members, Edric Barnes and Gail Gross. Culture and Cocktails would not be possible without the support of our generous sponsors. Even in a year of so much uncertainty and upheaval, our sponsors persevered, and we are most grateful for their support. I want to thank Scott Teach of Teach Wealth Management of Raymond James, Legends Radio 100.3 FM, the Palm Beach Daily News, PRBS and the amazing Gary Schweikert, and Piano Distributors, and most especially Row Green and the Row Green Foundation. I am so thrilled that Row is here with me tonight to welcome all of you to Culture and Cocktails. Row, thank you so much for your support of Culture and Cocktails.
I am thrilled to be with you tonight, Dave. Culture and Cocktails is always such a fun event. It is a treat to see friends old and new at the beautiful Colony Hotel, enjoy a few delicious bites and a nice glass of wine, and then experience a wonderful and enlightening conversation with some of Palm Beach County's most interesting people. This year has certainly been different, but I am so thrilled that the Cultural Council has found a way to continue the series. Tonight's finale will be a real joy.
It certainly has been a different year.
Yes, and I am very much looking forward to experiencing Culture and Cocktails again in person this fall.
Me too. Row, thank you for being with me this evening and for your generosity and support of the Cultural Council and all of the cultural institutions throughout the Palm Beaches.
We are so very lucky in Palm Beach County to have such a wonderful cultural scene. So now, I think it's time to start the show.
Let's do it. I am so pleased to introduce Kathy Kretzer Saylor. Kathy has worked in the piano business for 43 years. She opened the first Kretzer piano store in West Palm Beach in 1985. Over the years, she's picked up numerous awards and accolades in the industry. In addition, she served on the board of directors for the National Association of Music Merchants, advocating for the right of every child to learn and grow with music. Kathy received the Cultural Council's Muse Award for Outstanding Civic Leader. She is also the recipient of numerous other awards, including the Small Business of the Year Award from the Northern Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, Business Leader of the Year from Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, the Glass Ceiling Award from the National Association of Women Business Owners, and Small Business Person of the Year from the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches. In 2013, Kathy founded the Kretzer Music Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing the gift of music to children and seniors. Her work has supported numerous cultural organizations, including the Kravis Center, Palm Beach Drama Works, the Young Singers of the Palm Beaches, the Maltz Jupiter Theater, and the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County. We are so honored that Kathy will be interviewing Wayne Hosford and our stars of tomorrow. You are all in for a real treat this evening. So without further ado, take it away, Kathy.
welcome. We're so excited that you joined us this evening. You're in for a real musical treat, and I've always loved working with young artists. It is my great pleasure to introduce you to my dear friend and the incomparable Wayne Hosford.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us of how we used to be. Remember all we could be before they came and told us we were wrong. Remember all we could do before they taught us how to tag along. We used to be so brave and strong. We had the touch and taste of life, and everything was clean. I had a coloring book, and once I painted all the faces green. I wanted to be heard and seen, and it came from love. At the heart of everything, yeah, this is love. Love is never gone as we travel on. Love's what we'll remember. So thanks for wanting to be here now in our live and virtual stream. We've got 4 talented kids who want to share their music and their dream. So come along and join the team. It's a team of love at the heart of everything. It's a team of love at the heart of everything. Yay! Thank you.
Yes,
Have my foot.
sure.
So we go back a ways.
Oh, just a couple of months.
Kathy, you were the first person I met when I got into the musical community here. Was trying to get into the musical community.
I
just
was.
moved down here. You had heard me somewhere. Before I knew it, Kathy was telling me about the Kretzer kids, what they were doing. I was too old for that, but she did put me on her Music for the Mind series for like, I don't know, 3 different summers at the Harriet.
Yes.
And then she took me one morning in the middle of the night. The middle of the night to me is usually, around 7 o'clock in the morning. That's the middle of the night. 8 o'clock, you dragged me to a Chamber of Commerce breakfast downtown and introduced me to all those people so that I could start getting known in town.
I think you performed there, didn't you?
I did. You made me do that silly opera where I do all the voices, the bass.
That's
and
pretty
the...
good. I love that. That's funny. Well, tell me, when did you first, at what age did you first start to learn the piano, and when did you know you were hooked on it?
That's a good question. We actually have a slide to go with that. Why don't you run that up there? This is a picture that my mother took on a Brownie Instamatic camera in probably 1963. I was in kindergarten, and I had discovered a couple of years earlier in church, actually, that I could play the piano because we didn't have a piano at home. So when I got to kindergarten, they had this piano, and I would go and pick things out on it. So we did our rehearsal for the kindergarten commencement exercises, and I went over and I copied what the teacher was playing. She said, "Could you do that again?" She brought another teacher over, and I did it again. She said, "Would you like to play for our commencement exercises?" So that's what I did. I played for my own kindergarten commencement exercise.
And I especially love the red socks. You should do that now.
Oh, I've tried to have them match this.
A fashion
That
icon.
was Mom. Mom did the bow tie and the socks.
So what would you say was your first professional break?
The first professional break I had was as an actor, not as a musician. We had moved to Georgia. My dad had retired from the Miami Police Department, and he wanted to go into business with his brother-in-law in sporting goods, and so we went up to Georgia, which is a good place to be in sporting goods, if you didn't know that. And I needed to make new friends because we were going somewhere I didn't know anyone. So my mother decided to give me a try at local theater. So we went to an audition for community theater, and I started getting parts. And that was at 10. And when I was 12, she got a call to come up to Atlanta to try out for a professional production of Treasure Island. That would be the next slide. There it is. That's Long John Silver and Jim Hawkins in Treasure Island. That was 1970. I was 12 years old. And that was a lot of lines to learn, but gosh, was that fun. And the man that played Long John Silver there you're looking at, his name is Ben Jones. And if anybody remembers the show, The Dukes of Hazzard, he actually, after this show, not too long after this show, got cast as Cooter in The Dukes of Hazzard. And he made more money at that than he ever did in theater. So after he was through with that, guess what he did? He ran for the House of Representatives from Georgia and actually went to Washington. That's Ben Jones.
Probably still there.
I hope so. I don't know. He's probably retired, but he's still with us. I know that.
So where did your career take you after that?
Well, after that, you sort of course, you have to go to school. So I was in the predictable plays or concerts, and I was big in choir. I liked choir a lot. I'm not a band guy. I was a choir guy. And my pursuits were theater and music. So I would get in the odd show, either in high school or mid-school, as an actor or as a singer.
Didn't you start in the classical field?
The piano lessons started in classical.
And how did you transition there from classical to what you do now?
That's an interesting question.
And how did that classical training help you?
Okay. I never really transitioned from one to the other because while I was studying the classical music, I was also lifting things off of records. I play pretty much by ear. It's easier for me to learn something by ear than it is to go through the music, which is now at my age more of a detriment because I wish I had done the kind of work to where I had to read more because I read like watching somebody hunt and peck on a typewriter. It's embarrassing. But I played by ear so much that while I was learning my Chopin and my Clementi sonatinas and all those things, I was also listening to the radio and taking things off of records and radio. Sometimes I would actually tape things off of when we had tapes. I say tape to these kids when I know that they don't, we just hit something on the phone, and I call it taping. So,
was there one professional you enjoyed the most working with? Because you've worked with so many incredible people.
Oh, well, Julie Wilson was a very exciting person to work with because she was such a definitive actress and such a great interpreter of lyrics. Margaret Whiting had a much larger track record than Julie did because she was a recording artist and she was known all over the world. Julie was pretty much specific to Broadway or London's West End in theater or as a cabaret entity. She was actually the queen of cabaret. When I was in New York City, after I got out of high school, I went to University of Miami, and I was learning all kinds of music at once. So I never transitioned really. I kind of just mixed them all up. But working with them exciting people, anybody's exciting if they're good at what they do and they mean it, and they bring something new out of you. Anytime you work with someone, you want someone to keep you better or make you better, you know?
And speaking of that, I believe you have some young artists that you're going to introduce our audience to tonight that we're looking forward to.
I got a couple of more slides I got to show you real quick.
Okay.
That one is when I was up in New York. That was the cabaret days when I started to get, when you get to New York and you want to break into anything, pretty much, you have to start by doing a lot of benefits and things. And this was from I was on a lineup with a lot of people because of a roster of 12 people. So when I worked with Michael Feinstein, I didn't work next to him. I worked on the same bill with him. I did work with Margaret, and I did work with Julie and a couple of other people that would be of note, but I don't want to go on and on. The next slide is when I came down to Palm Beach. I had been in this city a number of years, and I had enough on the resume to be able to get jobs out of town, and I was working more out of town than I was in town. So I decided to come down, having grown up in Miami, as I did. I didn't mention that, did I?
You haven't grown up either, I don't think.
That's a good point. I hope I never do, Kathy.
I hope not.
At least
I'm not going to.
Good. Palm Beach, I started at the Ritz-Carlton in Manalapan when it was still the Ritz-Carlton, and just doing the music there and for listening and for atmospheric things, and met a lot of people there. And then they opened the Royal Room, and I started to solicit the Royal Room to consider me for doing some shows there. And I did 5 shows at the Royal Room before it closed its doors about 3 years ago now, Gary? About 3 years ago.
They were fabulous because we were there.
Oh, that's
with
true.
Bells on. We always love to hear you.
Thank you.
So, we ready to introduce the young artists?
We are indeed, and I thank you in advance again for all the work that you've done with all of the young artists that you represent. And I want anybody out there who's interested in helping young people along to check into the Kretzer Foundation and see what this wonderful lady has done all these years for the youth in this whole area, not just this
We've had
town.
a good time doing it.
God
and
bless
hopefully
you.
now we're going to get back and doing those 60 concerts a year in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, because these young people really miss the opportunity to perform. And so now we've got these young people tonight that get to show off, and I'm so excited about that.
I am too, Kathy. Thank you so much for coming in and being the one to interview me.
Thanks for including me.
Oh, you know it. You know it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first up is a wonderful gal who came recommended to me through Jill and Rich Switzer. I'm sure some of you know about them. They've been local musicians down here for years, and they became the hosts of a radio show in the morning on Legends Radio 100.3 FM. And it's called The Morning Lounge. And Dick Robinson runs and owns the station. And Dick Robinson runs that wonderful society for the Great American Songbook. And as it happens, our Koren right here, she was a recipient of the Young Artist Award. And that's about all I have to say. And now you're probably going to find out maybe why she is the recipient of the Young Artists Award. I've got to get my book, sweetie. Hold on. Where would the book go to? See, this is live. We can't just stop and stretch. Now everybody's getting to know the personal side of me. All of my friends know this. He said, oh, there he goes again. He's drifting. Okay, we're here now. I probably could have done it out of my head, but why subject you to that? Thanks for hanging with us, folks. This first song she's going to do is a real standard by the great team of Harold Arlen and Johnny Mercer from World War II era.
Gather round me, everybody. Gather round me while I preach some. Feel a sermon coming on me. The Topic will be sin, and that's what I begin. If you wanna hear my story, then settle back and just sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk up on the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale and Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Yeah, I said you better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or surely pandemonium, liable to walk on the scene. Yeah, you gotta accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Thank you so much.
This next song needs no introduction whatsoever.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. You know, Kathy Kretzer said this, and I say it too. Pitch for days. What intonation you've got.
Thank you so much.
Boy, that's a gift, isn't it? You've got that or you haven't really. You've got wonderful, wonderful pitch and interpretation for such a young lady.
Thank you.
Now,
That means a lot.
you're welcome. By the way, the advertising on this, is all a year old. Everybody's a year older, and they're in another grade than they were when we sent all the press out a year ago. So you are now an
18 years
year
old.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So
Tell
I've
me about
been,
yourself.
yeah.
Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
I was born right here in West Palm Beach, Florida. I've really been singing as long as I can remember. My mom put me with music lessons with Jill Rich Switzer of Legends
of
Radio
course, yeah.
100.3.
Yep.
And with them, I've learned about the Great American Songbook and sang jazz and performed around South Florida up to New York.
Excellent. Yes, I know about that. We could talk a little bit about that, but I want to get to a couple of other questions. If we have time, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
What do you plan to do with the music? Do you have any other interests that you can incorporate into music, or are you planning on going right to music?
So I also do musical theater
Of course.
and acting, and I've just made my college decision recently.
Where? Ooh, shall I go over
I'm
there and do a little?
You
Where you gonna
could. I'm going to Marymount Manhattan College, and I'm going to
Excellent.
continue to study the performing arts.
Well, you'll be in the right city, kiddo.
Mhm.
How wonderful.
I'm so excited.
Oh, Marymount's got a great history.
It does.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you must be excited.
I'm so excited.
Chomping at the bit, right? Have you got all the cold weather clothes? You're going to have to get a lot
I
of
know.
warm
I'm
clothes.
such a Florida girl, so I get cold so easily, but it'll be fine.
Tell me a bit about going to New York. You've already performed in some major venues in New York. Wait till you hear this. Go ahead.
I performed with Cast Party with Jim Caruso and Billy Stritch
At
at Birdland Jazz.
Yep, know it well, been there.
And then at Carnegie Hall, I've
That'll
gotten to
do.
perform.
That'll do very nicely. And why did you do it at Carnegie Hall?
It was for the American Protege competition. So I performed for the musical theater category.
Excellent.
The first time for all the winners, and then the second time for the 10th year anniversary.
Oh, marvelous. I got to do Carnegie Hall too.
Of
Twice.
course.
But it wasn't as a soloist. It was on along of these bills where a lot of people are on the same bill. And that's how I was on the bill with Billy Stritch too. And a number of other people. So I know I've walked in the path that you're walking. And there's so many wonderful venues to play up there. Don't turn any benefits down. Take everyone you can and try to just keep in touch with us and let us know how you're doing, won't you?
Definitely will.
Okay, Kai Koren, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. So our next performer is Tyler Corbett. Tyler and I met about 3-4 years ago at the Delray Summer Sing Camp. And that's something that goes on pretty annually, except for, of course, we couldn't do it with the COVID this year. But Tyler I've seen Tyler, when they're this young, you can really see a child change pretty quickly, He's developed a great deal since I've heard him. He was good when I heard him a long time ago. Tyler's going to do 2 numbers too. And one of them is called It's Possible. And that's from the musical that was entitled Seussical, the musical. And his second number will be from Elton John's wonderful Billy Elliot. So quite a contrast in the pieces here. See what you think about Mr. Tyler Corbett.
This might be a pole like I read of in books, connected to one of those underground brooks, an underground river that starts here and flows right under this bathtub, and then who knows? It's possible. Anything's possible. It might go along down where no one can see, right under State Highway 203, right under the wagons, right under the toes of Mrs. Amoroso, who's hanging out clothes. It's possible. Anything's possible. This might be a river now, mightn't it be? Connecting McCallig's pool with the sea, and maybe some fish might be swimming toward me. possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible.
And now from Billy Elliot.
I can't really explain it. I haven't got the words. It's a feeling that you can't control. I suppose it's like forgetting, losing who you are, and at the same time, something makes you whole. It's like that there's a music playing in your ear, but the music is impossible to hear. And then I feel it's moved me like a burning deep inside. Something's bursting me wide open, possible to hide. And suddenly I'm flying like a bird, like electricity. Electricity sparks inside of me, and I'm free. I'm free. It's a bit like being angry. It's a bit like being scared, confused and all mixed up and mad as hell. It's like when you've been crying and you're empty and you're full. I don't know what it is, it's hard to tell. It's like there's some music playing in your ear, but the music is impossible to hear. Then I feel it's moved me like a burning deep inside. Something's bursting me wide open, impossible to hide. And suddenly I'm flying like a bird, like electricity. Electricity sparks inside of me, and I'm free. I'm free. Free. I'm free.
Hot dog. Good. Hot dog. Oh. The talent,
Thank you so
the
much.
heart. You know, when I see emotion,
Are you crying?
yeah. I'm just moved. I'm not crying. I don't need a Kleenex yet. When I see that kind of open heart in a kid doing anything, when it's music, I relate to it easier, of course. But you really responded to colors and things I was giving you, and then I responded to you. We were collaborating. I wasn't just playing for you. I was playing with you.
Yes.
And we went somewhere together, didn't we?
Yes, we
You
did.
made me play better.
Well, you're very welcome.
Are you headed for theater? You must be.
Oh, yes.
Tell me.
Well,
First of all, when did it start?
it started when I was like 7 and I was just getting into music. Well, I wanted to be like in choir. There's a little choir I was going in, and I just continued with that, and I went into musical theater, and I went and been getting better and stuff.
Was there anything else on the side, like regular choir singing, other
like
classical
choir
stuff and things?
I do also have a piano. I play it. I've played it since 7. Same. I got that for Christmas, and
You play by ear or music?
pretty much by ear. I'm better at ear.
Okay. And do you intend to play the piano always?
Yes,
Good.
as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like other kinds of music besides musical theater?
Not really. I actually like musical theater.
You respond to the emotion like I did. Yeah, I enjoyed all kinds of music, but I found that oddly, one of my favorite musics was country music.
I do like that too.
Outside of because there was so much emotion in it. You know?
It does have a lot of
No,
emotion.
there's a lot of music out there that is just built on emotion.
Yes.
I've got a record of Jacques Brel singing in French. I don't know what he's singing about. I still am moved by the whole thing. It's so emotional. So I recommend these things to you. Stretch your wings and start looking for emotion, things that you respond to in other kinds of music as well.
Okay.
What are you going to do with this music? Where do you think you would go with it?
Well, I want to be like on Broadway when I grow up.
Of course you do.
Yeah. I also would like to be a Disney actor.
Of course you do.
And then with all that in mind, I would also maybe like to be a music teacher for like a school or something.
What do you think you would want to do that after you've made your fame and
Oh, yeah.
fortune
Yeah.
up in the big
Yeah,
apple?
of course.
Okay, Mom and Daddy, I hope you're listening out there. You're gonna have your hands full. Oh, I wish you all the best in the world. You're such a bright talent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, the art that is hanging in this place where we're sitting, and it's all around this building, is really born of the very same thing. It's inspiration. It's born of something to be said, and it's there for people to hear and to react to, or to see and react to. I hope you get the whole gist of what's going on here. We're looking at it in its seed, in the actual form, before it grows into its whole fruition. And I thank the Cultural Council for making music part of their endeavors. Really, I do. It's just a wonderful thing that you've done to keep this going for us, and I thank you again. Wait till you hear my third grader. Third grade, believe it or not. She's really a lovely person, not to mention a lovely talent. And I've also gotten to work with her for 3 years. I think she's a lot older than her years. Some people would say she's an old soul. Those of you who use that term might agree with me. Please welcome the wonderful and talented Miss Kaylee Owen. Now, Kaylee likes the Beatles. Isn't that marvelous for a third grader today to like the Beatles? I think it is. So she's chosen 2 songs that have to do with what she's been through in the last year, and all of us have, with COVID and making new adjustments and hoping for the day when we can go back to our normal lives. These are 2 very hopeful songs having to do with that subject. The first is from the Beatles, and the second one will be from the Broadway musical, Annie. And I'm sure you just can't guess in a million years what that song will be. But first comes this little old thing.
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, I feel the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since they've been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. sun, sun, here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick on my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day away. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick on my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day Thank you.
Yeah. I've been locked up for a year or two, you know. I'm not kidding you. Oh, the love that I feel from this and from this way, this talent you all have and how young you are. It just gives me such hope. I'm a real idealist. You can look that word up later. I think you're marvelous, Kaylee. I really do.
Well, thank you very much, Mr.
You're
Wayne.
welcome very much. Miss Kaylee, tell me about yourself. When did the music start with you?
I'm not for sure, but I feel like it was about around like 2 or 3 years old.
Okie dokie.
And
Was it as a singer or a pianist, or how did you know? You could copy anything when you listened to it?
I
when
knew
singing?
basically when I was 3, I liked the music and I usually would just listen to it and I'd like repeat it in some kind of like blob.
Oh.
And then like when I was like 6, I started to sing the actual lyrics. And I listened to myself and I'm like, that's not too bad.
No, it's not. Good for you. You heard the difference. You knew the difference. Yeah. When did you get interested in piano? Was a piano in your house, or did you find one like I did in church?
So I wanted to do piano because although I love singing, I was kind of getting bored of just doing singing. I wanted to do like an instrument or something.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, my grandparents and my parents got me a piano.
Good.
And
my mom had a friend, and she actually started to teach piano lessons. So I went to her house every Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd practice piano. And then when I got home, I'd go into my booklet and I just play songs of piano. Now, I didn't play piano for a long time, sadly, because the pandemic hit,
Yes,
and then her lessons stopped.
of course.
And then I just didn't want to do it anymore because I thought that singing was coming back, but sadly it didn't.
I see. Well, some people were giving some instruction virtually, but that's not for everybody. But there are people that were giving piano lessons virtually, and all kinds of things. Everybody, all of us, as musicians, the people that do what we do. I'm not a teacher always. I get called upon to do it sometimes, but some people do it virtually. That wasn't anything that I endeavored to do, but you will be able to study piano again if it takes us a little longer to get back to where we were before. Fear not. There are teachers who will be able to actually Zoom with you and teach you, because I bet you still got some basics to learn when you're in the 3rd grade. There's probably a lot of basics left for you.
Yeah.
I'm just delighted with you. I think she's a marvelous talent, isn't she, everybody? Just wonderful. So now we've got something that is what are you going to do with this when you grow up?
That's what I was waiting for.
Sorry.
It's
I
okay.
forgot.
So I would really want to go on Broadway,
Of course you do.
and I have a passion for acting as well. So
Okay.
I'd probably want to be in musical theater,
Mm-hmm.
and just the thing that I really want to do is I want to take music that I really like from a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then redo that music in a different way.
That's what a lot of our artists are doing now. And actually, artists have been doing that since the beginning of time. A lot of people will ask me to play night and day where I work. And I play the way Cole Porter wrote it. And they said, what happened to, I thought that was a Frank Sinatra song. I said, oh, you want me to swing it? So people have been taking songs since the beginning of time and doing them a different way, in their own way. And I look forward to the way you do anything you want to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee Owen. I'm really glad to have you here. Kaylee Owen, everybody. Wait till you hear this next gentleman. Come join me, Zachary Williams. Zachary Williams, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
He's only 4 years old. I couldn't help it. I've been waiting for a gag the whole program, and I finally
That's a good one.
Well, having met you, I knew that you would be a good sport about it.
Oh,
But
yes,
I wasn't sure anything about you, because when I was told, it was he's this wunderkind. He can do anything, and he's done it from a very early age. He plays piano amazingly. He can play stuff by ear and transcribe it from a really hard recordings, and he can play in every style. And you study with a guy I know named David Crohan.
Yes, I do. I started studying with David Crohan quite a few years ago.
Wait a minute, we got to tell him how old you really are.
Oh, okay. I'm 17.
Okay.
Yes, actually, in quite a few, or not quite a few days, I'll be 18. But yeah. Anyway, to get back to what I was saying before, thanks to Miss Kathy Kretzer here in the Kretzer Piano Foundation, I was given the opportunity to study with David Crohan, and
Hot dog.
it's really been an amazing experience.
I'm sure.
Talk about, strengthening your ear, first of all,
Oh, yeah.
I would say, because for those who don't know, Mr. Crohan is blind. So when you go for a lesson and you're learning something, we're not using sheet music to rely on, really anything. So that was a really, strong skill to develop.
I think
and
it's wonderful.
I'm happy I did. But I guess to go back to talking about maybe how I started and
Please.
what's going on, I started much later than many of my peers. I started around 11 or 12, and it's a funny story, actually. I had some leftover money from a vacation I went on that my family gave me some cash to buy a gift shop or whatever, at a gift shop or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I went into a consignment store and I found this old beat up piano, and I thought I'm going to start playing that. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to learn how to play piano.
With a little
And-
vacation pocket money,
Yeah.
buy a piano.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to meet your parents someday.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to see what they. Oh, never
this
mind.
old beat up thing. I mean, they were practically giving it away for free.
Yeah,
I mean,
evidently.
yeah. So I for a few months I began to learn on my own, and whether it was through recordings online, so on. And then I did get a teacher, and I continued to advance my study both in classical music and more modern contemporary forms of music.
I want to ask a question because
Yes.
I'm relating to this because I started that way, and I mentioned before I played by ear,
Mhm.
and I got so used to it.
Mhm.
But I did take lessons, and some teachers really just didn't want me to even share anything I had learned with them, which kind of saddened me because I wanted them to like what I was doing and build on that. But some of them said, no, that's over here. And very few could work with it. Did you learn notes as you were playing by ear? And did you have a teacher who did not make you feel funny or different or
I honestly
for
do.
playing by ear?
All of my private teachers through the years have been really amazing about it. Actually,
Excellent.
they've been very supportive about studying more than one type of music.
Yes. All right.
And of course there was a focus on one type.
Well,
For in the lessons. But of course there have been people as you come across just in life in general who are very one track minded.
I understand.
But that's just something that you deal with.
But did you have any trouble learning the notes? Did you keep wanting to learn stuff
No,
by ear
no.
and go, because I can do this easier, or did you just embrace the notes right away?
Well, I didn't really have any trouble at all. Actually, I'm a
better man than I gonna get in.
I'm a big music theory nerd. Actually,
you?
yeah, I really like studying it, learning about it.
I
So
love it.
that kind of came with it,
Okay.
Yeah, and so now applying more advanced music theory in terms of arranging, composing. And,
You're just one of these intellectual artists who had the whole package. No, you've got the whole package. And if you don't believe me, you will very soon, because wait until you hear what's in store for you. This man is amazing, and I look forward to getting to know you through the years, supporting you wherever I can, and that goes for all of you too, by the way.
Well,
And
thank you
your
very much.
foundation as well, Kathy, and
Yes,
this
yes.
great cultural council. I'm just glad to be living in this community, to have been asked to be part of it, and to be here sharing this and celebrating it.
Yes.
Go do your
definitely.
stuff, Bucko.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Zachary Williams. how, Martha? Yeah, here. The one thing I didn't ask him, which I asked everyone else, is what in the world are you going to do with your music later on? But he already told me he's giving it up today. He's never touching a piano again. He wants to be a nuclear physicist. Is there any doubt what his future is going to be? And what a bright future it's going to be. I'm so proud of all of you. I really am. I'm so proud of everybody here. Let's go do this thing. Our last number for you, perhaps?
Yes.
All right, let's get in place, folks.
Hi, I'm Gary Schweikert, co-founder of Culture and Cocktails, and I want to thank everyone who participated in our 16th annual and first all-virtual season. And what a season we've had, starting with Hollywood historian Scott Iman last November, followed by cultural dynamos Doug Evans from the Chamber Music Society of Palm Beach and Arts Garage CEO Marjorie Waldo. And last month, we had the dishy chat between two much-adored divas, Tony Award-winning actress Faith Prince and Palm Beach's favorite singer-showman, Rob Russell. And this is our annual musical finale, with the talented Wayne Hosford and 4 amazing stars of tomorrow. But before we get back to them, I'm very pleased to announce that Culture and Cocktails is returning for our 17th season. Once again, live, in person, back at our birthplace, the Colony Hotel, Palm Beach. Can't give away too many secrets yet, but I'm excited to announce that our opening Culture and Cocktails on Monday, November 8th, will feature the brand new CEOs of 2 of our strongest, most vital cultural organizations. Guylaine Dumiher, Director and CEO of the Norton Museum of Art, and Terrence W. Dwyer, the new Chief Executive Officer of the Kravis Center. So plan on joining us for this important Getting to Know You event. Now, time for my usual final Culture and Cocktails question. Wayne, can we hear one more fabulous number from you and your talented protégés?
Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Yeah, I said you better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Oh my goodness. What are we going to accentuate? The positive. Eliminate the negative. There you go. Latch on to the
Affirmative.
We did it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you, all of us together, and we're going to take a bow if the parents and friends will lead us on with applause. Here we go. And thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That was wonderful.